Cornelius Davis opened with a statement talking about spring practice and how it's been going through. We'll take you first.
Okay. Yeah, spring practice has been going pretty good for both sides of the ball, if you ask me. We've been competing every day like Coach Jack wanted us to do, and that's just what's been going on.
Cornelius.
Yeah, like Seven said, everything has been a competition. It's been back and forth every day. I'm really just loving the work, and I'm happy to see where we're going right now.
Okay, we'll take questions from the floor.
So, Cornelius, how has the defense progressed from first week of spring practice to now?
First week, it's a lot of new guys, so they're learning the defense. And our defense is not complicated, but it's a little complicated. It's a lot of jobs, a lot of things you got to do in the defense. So week one, it was a little slow, but now as we get into it, it's starting to like pick up, and you're starting to see a little bit of the 212 form.
Same question for you, from the offensive perspective, from week one to now.
Like he was saying, we had new guys. It was hard to get in the line and assign just because new playbooks for a lot of the guys we had coming in. But as spring has went on, we've grown as an offense and we making plays.
Question for both athletes: how is spring ball meshing? How are you guys meshing with the team? How are you meshing with the coaches? Transfers, how is it all working?
Oh yeah, Coach Jack always say love is spelled Time. So we just spending time with each other, and going to different events. We might go to a softball game or something in that nature. Or we might just kick it in the dorms and play the game. That's just how we meshing.
It's really what Tevin said, just spending time with one another. All we got to do is get to know each other. Everything will fall in place later. But right now, it's just building a connection, showing love to each other so we can all move together as one when the season comes.
So this question for Cornelius. Cornelius, this is your second year in the defense, right? And so how do you feel you grasp that coming in now in your second year? And has that transformed you into a leader? And what kind of leader do you feel?
Yeah, I like to say it's transforming me into a leader right now. It's a lot of new things that we added to the defense, so I'm learning that too. But everything that we had before, I'm able to teach the new guys how to play it, how to tempo it, pace yourself, and whenever it's called, you don't got to think too much. You can just go fast, play fast.
So Ted, again, second year role. Now the quarterback room has a little bit more bodies in it, right? So how is the competition? How do you view the competition in that room?
We have great quarterbacks in our room. We got myself, Tyler Nelson, Jalen Petway, Dez Thomas, JoJo Stewart, and we all just go out there and compete every day. And we help each other as well. We know only one of us can play, but we all one group, and so we go out there and we help each other as much as we can.
This question for you, Tevin. How have you been challenged by the staff this spring?
In regards to on the field or leadership on the field, all around, I've been challenged with leadership. They've been challenging me to lead a little bit more, be more a vocal guy, and on the field just make plays. And Coach Buck always say be a point guard out there and just distribute the ball and make the right play with the football.
I need the same question. How have you been challenged?
Being able to show that I'm more physical when it comes to like wrapping up and stuff like that, because I'm more of like a shoulder tackler. They've been challenging me to work on wrapping up more. And I'm trying to challenge the new guys to do the same, because there's a lot of new guys that come in here, they're saying they know how to tackle, but it's showing up like they're not really aggressive how they portraying. So I'm really trying to teach the new guys to be more aggressive with me, so we're all working on it together right now.
I have a question. How does spring practice prepare you for football?
That's for both of us. Oh yeah, with the new transfer portal, bringing in, I think we brought in like 60, 70 new guys. Spring practice kind of helped us, build that chemistry. We don't have to really have too many new players come in. And going into the fall, it should just translate over and we just make plays like we've been doing.
I feel like it's building the mental, building our mentals for real, and it's like getting us together. Everything done in the spring is more to challenge us, so when the fall comes, everything becomes easy.
Last one for both guys. What should the fans expect from the defense and the offense for the spring game?
I'm a big, quick 6 guy. We're going to score a lot of points.
I'm a big 212 guy, and I'm opposed to them scoring a lot of points. We're gonna.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
Yes, man.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Finishing up week 3 and week 4, starting week 5, so we're kind of in the last couple of days of spring ball. We've transitioned our team from installing to now we're polishing and executing at a high level. So we've increased some tempo, some physicality. We've been live a little bit more as we went on, and just trying to maintain some consistency as we get to these last few practices. And we got to master our schemes, and that we talk about that a lot as a program. But we got to really make sure that when we get back in the summer, we didn't lose what we learned, and we were able to master the schemes that we put in and be ready for some more. Coaches always do research and things of that nature and try to polish up on the player and give players, the guys that we have in our program, the opportunity to make plays. And so today's scrimmage, we're going to go out there today, probably try to get to 80, 85 plays. Quarterbacks are going to be live today for the first time. All spring, we like to do that. Whenever there's some quarterback competition going on, we certainly like to liven them up to make sure that we know how a guy reacts after he gets hit. You never want to wait till game 1 to find out how a guy is going to react, and that's kind of been a staple of how we've been doing things. We got to evaluate a lot of situational football today. We have the referees out there. When the refs come, we tell them to call everything that they see and be extra on our guys to make sure we're coaching and playing the game the right way. But we need to see high levels of effort. We need to see great decision making from our guys today. We're still in an evaluation phase. We got a lot of new guys, a lot of guys to put some real hard numbers on as far as from an evaluation standpoint. And so we've got to make sure that those guys are getting better, and they're certainly better than what we were in the first scrimmage. So it tells us who we are right now. It tells us what else we might need and how far we need to go. The competition has been good. It has been really competitive. It's been kind of chippy, which we want to play with an edge, but it hadn't been disrespectful. Hadn't been a lot of fights. Hadn't been a lot of guys not supporting one another, even in the midst of high levels of competition. We still understand that we're all on the same team, and for me, looking at the whole collective, I really like that. I don't like wasting a lot of time fighting and doing all that stuff, man. We gotta get better. Regardless of what happens in these practices, come August, we're gonna come out the locker room together. And so, really excited about what's coming up with football week. Monday starts football week for us. Monday we'll have our player draft in the Panther room. We got 60 draftable guys. We take our seniors and we split them up evenly amongst the purple and the gold team. And we've got 60 guys that are available to be drafted, barring any injuries or any last-minute things. And we might get a few guys back, so we might have a little bit more than 60. And so we'll do that Monday night. We'll do the Be the Match. I don't know. I don't even remember what you call it. Well, I remember what you call it, but it's Be the Match. Trying to find donors for people, and so we'll do that Tuesday with our team, and then Wednesday we'll open practice up for students, which students have kind of been coming to practice anyway, which we like, but we'll make that an open practice. When you come, those students don't have any cameras. We don't allow cameras and video and things of that nature, but we certainly would like to see you. As well as on Wednesday, we're going to do Pie a Player. And there's a line outside the field house of young ladies lined up to pie these guys. And so we're going to charge. We should make a lot of money that day based on what the young ladies have been telling me. But we're going to line every guy up we got. And if you got somebody you want to see, just send me a request and we'll get them out there too. If you want to pie me, it's going to cost you. I'm just telling you, this ain't no $5 pie face. It's going to go for $30, $35. So, but we will. I'm willing. If you got the money, I'm willing to sit in there and get hit with a pie. Thursday, we got the Dome party, the 90s party, which we're really looking forward to. That's been a lot of buzz. Even in the midst of the fact that we're in Spring Fest right now, we've had students come up to us and talk to us about the Dome party. And so, again, adults are not welcome. If you're an alum, the only alums we got are the ones on our staff that's going to be there. This is for the students. So stop DMing me, stop asking me in HEB, can you come to the Dome party? It's for the students. And then we'll culminate the week with Junior Day and then the spring game on Friday night. So we're really looking forward to that. Friday night after the game, we're going to have the ring ceremony. It is the last time we're going to ever talk about last year's success. We're going to give the guys the rings. And what's really cool about it is we got a video from Coach Frazier, from the head coach from the 2009 team. A couple of words he wanted to say to the guys he coached and to our guys. And then we got the guys coming back from that team and alums from before to pass the rings to those guys. That's a tradition that we want to get started here. When we got here, we wanted to create traditions. And I think that'll be a really good one to start. And so really looking forward to that, even though we know we got a lot of work to do in between. Last but not least, man, with us, we're trying to find out who we are. And we won't know who we are until the end of spring ball. And then we'll start that process over again and try to get ourselves ready for the summer and see what the summer team is like so we can get ready to put together the team. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Coach, a few questions I have structurally. But my first question to you is, you have a basketball transfers, the spring practice going on. What have you been seeing offensively and defensively with new guys, from the returners? I know 7 returners, and he's in your quarterback. So as far as defense and offense, what have you been seeing for some of the new guys?
Yeah, first of all, we don't really look at returners or new. Once you're here, you're here, and we start everybody all over again, right? And so obviously there's some experiences that the guys that played in our systems last year should have that they've displayed. But we really start everybody over from ground zero. And so the guys that are newcomers, they've been able to start at the same place as everybody else. What I really like is how the guys that returned are helping the guys that are newcomers. Regardless of if they play the same position or not, they've been willing and able to help those guys to maybe get them there faster than what they normally would be with the hours that we're confined to as coaches. And so that's kind of when you know you got a team, when everybody can put their own personal deals aside, even if we're in the same position group, but everybody wants the collective to be better. And so really looking forward to it. Certainly not nowhere where we want to be, but we're so much better than what we were in January from a football standpoint and from a getting to know each other and gelling with one another standpoint.
As far as spring ball, with being next week, what can we expect from the students' perspective who are coming to next week's spring ball?
Yeah, man, I always hope when people see us, whether you're students, alumni, fans, or just the general football person, I always hope that you see a team that plays with a lot of passion and enthusiasm, with a physical mindset. We'll hit anybody. We'll hit you if you get in the way. It's just kind of how we look at it, you know what I mean? And anybody that's in our way to get to where we're trying to go can get hit within the whistle. I hope you see a team that doesn't play to the whistle but through the whistle. That's who we want to be. Everybody talks about 5 to 6, 5 to 7, A to B. Man, as long as the whistle ain't blown, we want to knock you out. That's what we hope that people walk away from here saying. And we got some things that we do internally to help us get to that point. And I don't know if you're going to see that or not next Friday. We're still a work in progress. But ultimately, when we get to August 29th, that's what needs to be seen. Yeah.
talked about spring ball. So talk about the leadership, or just what do you see? What have you seen from the players?
I see guys growing in leadership. I don't think we're at a point to where we can label guys as leaders, because we're still training leadership. We're still trying to get guys to understand what leadership looks like. Every week we have the aim of the week, and the aim of the week this week was leadership. And we talked about it. We had our family meetings. We talked about that. We talked about what that looks like. We talked about how we can help. But we discovered that leadership is service. And you got to be willing to serve the collective, serve the community. If you're not a servant, if you don't have a servant mindset, then you have no chance to be in leadership. And so I think our guys are understanding that based on their responses, based on the things that they've told us. And we look forward to helping them continue to grow so that when they're done here, when they're finished in their Prairie View A&M football career, that they can move into leadership roles. And even when they get in there and they're leaders per se, you still have to be able to respond to certain things. And hopefully we're giving them that training while they're here.
Coach, can you tell us some of the bright spots that you've seen this spring versus last year this same time?
Oh man, well, I don't know if we got enough time in a press conference. Last year I took a job, and I'll be quite honest, I thought I took the wrong job. I didn't think we were very structured. I didn't think we had some things that normal college football programs have from a mindset and a mentality standpoint. And that's not a knock on anybody. It just, we do things a certain way. And so we really had to come in here and teach ground zero, third grade things that should be normal, that weren't normal, or what I would say are normal to me, that weren't normal to a lot of people. And so we had to really break this thing down to the finest details. And when we did that, a lot of guys chose not to stay here. Some of those guys, we helped make a decision not to stay here. But it was a very pivotal time in our time in coming in here, because nowadays you got to find out who's with you and who's against you. And there's a lot of people that really know how to win an Oscar and play a role like they're with you, but they have no intention of being with you. Internally, they're just waiting to bail out at the last minute. And so we figured that out quite early. We got guys out of here and in here that wanted to be us, that not only wanted to consistently compete for championships, but guys that wanted to be better as people, guys that wanted to use football as a vehicle. And now, this spring, we haven't had to do as much of that. I think you're always going to be in a phase where somebody might skirt by you in recruiting and might fool you. And it's our job as coaches and leadership to find those people. That's not just in football programs, that's in everything. That's at IHOP. It's some workers at IHOP that really don't want to work at IHOP. I think you got to find them and get them out of the IHOP, right? And so we got to find those people and get them out, but it's so much better right now. It's not easier, it's better, because a lot of the collective is talking to the collective. And when players and people within the organization come and say, Coach, he's not one of us, then it makes it easier. And we didn't have that a year ago. Not to mention, from a football standpoint, we're just more talented than we were last spring. We had sprinkles of talent last spring that could play Division I college football at Prairie View A&M. We got a lot more of that now. Our receiver group a year ago this time, we didn't have very many people in the receiver group. So it wasn't even a talent issue. We didn't even have enough depth. You look at our receiver group now, we got almost 18 guys in that group. And I don't know how talented we are, but I know we got some things to work with, right? And so it's night and day from a year ago. The goal is to sustain the program like this all the time. And I think with the calendar changing, we're going to always be able to do it in the spring. No more do you bring people in August. Guys that come in August are going to be really behind. You have to bring people in January so that they can go through whatever PTSD or acclimation process they have to go through, and they can buy into what we're doing. And I really like where we are from that standpoint right now.
Last question, Coach. With a bunch of transfers, you mentioned depth. How is adaptability going to be
Adaptability is already being seen now, right? Because we're always adapting and growing as a program. Players are always having to adapt, and so I think that's just something that's understood when you walk in the door on both sides. But I think what's really big is the fact that guys are coming in and wanting to be Panthers. That wasn't the case. That ain't always been the case over the years of the program. I tell folks all the time, man, I'm from Houston. I remember when nobody wanted to come to Prairie View A&M. I remember getting offered a $800 scholarship from Prairie View A&M, and I had 13 Division I offers. Like, I remember that. Full scholarship offers, and I got a letter of intent from Prairie View A&M that had $800, $400 a semester, right? So now we got guys that get real scholarships. Guys they could always got a real education here, but now, man, we play regular college football. So we've adapted as an institution to the landscape. It's still changing. We're gonna always have to do that. But players want to be here because now we're somewhat normal. Not all the way normal. We still got a lot of things we need to work on. But as a coach, man, I don't know if we'll ever get there in my mind. There's always something we can be better at. But I think the biggest deal is now, today, and over the last few years, people want to be at Prairie View A&M. Well, then when you win a championship and you're out there as much as we are with social media and things of that nature, man, people want to be a part of folks that can be seen and that can pour into them. And I think we do a good job of telling the story of how we do that. And so the adaptability piece has been easy because people want to be here. And so if you want to be here, you'll adapt. We say IAO, man, you improvise, adapt, and overcome. We do that all the time as coaches, and our players are starting to do it, but it's because they want to be here. And what's really special is a lot of them want to play for each other. That's when you really can overcome anything and adapt to anything. And so kind of a long-winded answer to answer you, but that's just where we are right now.
So, Coach, with the potential rule change, eligibility that's coming up down the pipelines, could you share some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we changed the rules initially as a governing body, as institutions, as coaches, because we got scared. We got scared of being sued. We got scared of players. We just got scared. And so we started negotiating with people that really we shouldn't have been negotiating with. I think if you go back and look at how we were all parented, I'm 42. And so I was raised by my grandma. And it was hard. It wasn't no negotiation. When she said, wash the dishes and take out the trash, that's what was going to happen. And nowadays you see guys that their parents, they washing the dishes and taking out the trash, and the kid playing the Nintendo, and there's just no more home structure like that. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but I know when you negotiate with people with no life experience, disaster is on the other side. And we jumped into this deal instead of listening to them and making sure we explain ourselves. We just started negotiating to make them happy. There was a lady in Target one day that her kid was crying, so she just gave him the iPad. Like, here, take this iPad so you can stop crying. And he stopped crying. Well, my grandma would have left me standing in the middle of Target with it wasn't even no iPad back there. I'd still be there crying. And I would have had to learn to work through that. Well, we've taken that out of raising kids, and we brought that into college athletics. We give them too many iPads, in my opinion. Come to Prairie View A&M, we're gonna let you stand in the middle of Target and cry. And you're just gonna have to figure it out. We don't negotiate with people with not enough life experience. And I think if we go back to what it was, maybe loosen some things, look at what really needs to be adapted to, because I do think when you have a book full of rules, ain't nobody gonna follow all that. Either they're not gonna follow it under the table, or they just gonna try to find a way or loophole out of it, right? And so both sides have to go back and reevaluate. But if we can do this 5-year thing, where guys can transfer once, and if they transfer again and they have to sit out, I think that's fair. I think that gives us some normalcy. I don't really think, people are talking about all the kids transferring and they're not going to get degrees and this, that, and the other. Well, here's what I tell our players. It ain't my job to get you no degree. I want to get you a degree. I want you to have a degree because my heart wants you to have it. It ain't my job to get you no degree. It's my job to win football games. And that's just the God honest truth. That's why there's so many transactional programs out in the country right now. But in our program, we want you to be successful regardless of whether you play football or not. And so we got to really make sure that players understand when guys get a job, well, they get a degree, I don't get anything. The coaches don't get anything. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow but a smile when I don't even go to graduation. I don't go take pictures with graduates. That ain't I'm just here to make sure you're able to take the picture. And so when you look at everything that we've done, man, if we go to the table and say, hey, here's what we're going to do, what are the players going to do? If we say, here's what we're going to, 5 years, you can transfer one time, what are they going to do? Not play? Somebody's probably going to sue, but you make enough money to fight that? I think we got to take a stand as grown people and people with high levels of life experience and give them, we make sure we're doing right on our side, but also let's make sure we continue to teach young people that they don't have all the answers. But we got to explain why they don't have all the answers. And I think there's a good meeting in the middle. But I like what I saw with the 5-year deal. I like what I saw with the one-time free transfer, because it used to be you can only transfer down from FBS to FCS or FCS to D2, and you had to sit out. So I think if you make it a free transfer anywhere you want to go, I think that's fair. And so hopefully we'll see what they do. People with much larger paychecks than me make that decision, and people ain't gonna like how I view it, but I just don't negotiate with a child. I ain't doing it. And maybe those that do can one day explain why they do it, but it ain't happening over here. So if you come to Prairie View A&M and you don't have much life experience, which that's 18 to 24 and anything less than 42, if you don't have much life experience, we are not negotiating with you at any time. And you can take what we got to give you, which is we think is really good and really life-changing, or you can leave it and go somewhere else that's transactional. That was a long rant, Cruz. You knew that was going to do that.
Any other questions?
Purple and gold spring game. Doors open at 4 p.m. Kickoff at 6:05 p.m. We'll be split this year, purple and gold teams. Go Panthers.